short of men.
Yeah, it's a bit of an understatement right now. We're just hoping to have enough guys for a practice today. But like I think I said on to myself, anyways, I'm sure it's happens to other teams as well. So, but definitely depleted with injuries and illness right now. So hopefully we can have enough guys to play for Friday night here. But it's just one of those things that you face as a team, and again, it's opportunity for other guys to handle more ice time and step up in their roles, and you got to figure out a way to overcome it.
Yeah, can you kind of share with us what you had to do late in the game on the back end the other day, and I guess kind of how are you attacking this week? You have to move some guys around.
Yeah, you got to. Back in the day, it used to be a lot more common when you had versatile players that could probably, some forwards could play defense or defense could play forwards, and you don't see that often anymore. But luckily, hopefully we have a couple of guys on our team that can maybe played defense back in midget or bantam and have some experience back there that could possibly shift back there. So we'll probably look to give the guys, I think Riley Alford practice on the back end and practiced yesterday and played a little bit in the third period there when we only had 4. And so we'll probably have to look to move him and maybe one other forward back there a little bit today to make sure we have enough guys if need be come the weekend.
How tough is it to balance, the injury and illness stuff in the first place, and now you got to deal with, the road trip that's ahead of you?
Yeah.
It kind of adds a different element to it, I would imagine.
Yeah, for me, it's a mindset. I don't worry too much about that. I mean, that's why it's so important to have such a good program. You got to have the medical staff, from your athletic trainers to your physio to your team doctor. That's all in as well. Because it's the key to maybe getting a guy back a day before he normally would come back, or it could be the difference between having a full lineup and not for the weekend. So we got to rely on those guys to get the job done, to get guys ready to play, and we got to be prepared with who's ever ready for us, who's ever healthy enough for us to play. We got to get those guys ready to go. So as a coach, I just worry about the healthy guys and helping make sure they're the best ready to go, and then the injured guys or the sick guys, let them up to the medical staff to get prepared.
Is there a handful of guys that are going to be game time decisions, or a lot of these just
throughout
the week?
What are we up to? Maybe 5 guys now that are probably doubtful right now for the weekend, but hopefully we can get something going here for the weekend.
How much did last week help just to kind of hit the reset button after the time away and maybe the struggles you had the last couple series going into the break?
Yeah, first off, I was really impressed with our staff. Not myself, but our assistant coaches, and they did a great job over the break, not only recruiting, but also just taking the time to help dissect the first half, and it wasn't a break for the assistant coaches over the break, and I think that showed on Friday and Saturday night. I think our guys were extremely well prepared to play. I thought we addressed some of the things we want to continue to work on in the second half, but again, I give those guys a lot of credit for all the time they spent there helping break down the game and have a game plan going into the second half. And then most importantly, it was our players, that came very attentive back from the break. They came back in great shape. We did body fat and testing before they left, and they came back extremely ready to go physically, which I think is a testament to those guys. It's a 10-day break, and oftentimes you can find guys taking the easy way out, and I don't think our guys took that option. So really proud of the guys for that, and I think now hopefully although we're sick and injured right now, but the guys that are feeling good, hopefully you can keep that energy going in the second half.
Defensively, pretty solid weekend between Evan and Chris, and then just what you got out of defensemen. What did you see in that matchup against Union that really was able to kind of set the tone from that standpoint?
I thought on Friday night as a team we were very good. Just limiting their shot chances. I think we kept them to under 20 shots, and I thought our forwards tracked back extremely well. I thought our defenseman gap was extremely tight, and that's usually dependent on the other. When your forwards are tracking back that hard and playing that physical, it allows your defense to play a tight gap, and you end up playing a lot more in their zone, which benefits everybody. And then I thought our goaltending, both Friday and Saturday, were calm in the net, didn't over move. Made some timely saves when they needed to, and I don't think necessarily the goalie stole us a game either night, but I thought they played really, really solid. And then, even on Saturday night, you see Oldham make a couple big saves when they've got a 1-goal lead, allows us to get our feet going a little bit there and get back into the game and then take over the game a little bit down the stretch. So without those couple key saves, it's a different story in my opinion. So it was really nice to have both our goalies have 2 solid games, and I'm sure they're going to continue that forward.
How important is that confidence, from those guys, knowing, the offensive attack you have to look at this weekend?
I think it's great, and for me, I'm a big believer in the process, and the game's fair, and life is fair a little bit. You get what you want to get out of life, you get what you put into it, and like just even with Evan and Oldie, I thought their practice habits were extremely better the last couple of weeks, and so that's why Oldham got the start on Saturday. He earned it with the way he practiced the last few weeks. It wasn't dependent on what Evan did on Friday night. And it was nice to see him get rewarded with a good game on Saturday. So again, now those guys just got to get back to the grind, get back to doing the right things every day, working for the team, pushing themselves. We like that healthy competition between the two guys. So hopefully they'll continue that mindset.
North Dakota's always been a program that's been pretty neat, but more recently they've had some top-heavy lines where they had a lot of star power, maybe not as much this year. What have you seen from them, and I guess what do you think going into the weekend?
Yeah, like you said, you can tell I think they're fourth liners right now, just looking at their last chart, are, top point getters in the BCHL. So they obviously have that depth, that scoring depth, where even maybe guys that aren't putting as much points, when you watch them on video, they're highly skilled. They have that ability to score at any time. So you got to be really smart against them. You can tell they get four guys up in the rush all the time. They're well coached. They play as 5-man units. They do all the stuff good teams do. So again, attention to detail will be very, very important for us this weekend. Playing smart, playing intelligent, playing hard, I think are going to be keys for us having success against a deep team like that.
You're also going up against a goaltender that's had a pretty storied career. They won a national title with him. Seems like he's been there forever. Are there things that you've noticed about him, and I guess how do you guys go about attacking him, knowing the kind of career that he's had up there? Yeah,
without giving up too much to the game plan a little bit, I think we'll just continue to do some of the stuff that's going to give us success in the O-zone, and the typical stuff of getting net presence and moving the puck quickly in the offensive zone, attacking the net, taking his eyes away, closing on rebounds, all that stuff that you hear every coach say kind of thing. So we'll do that, and then we'll also do some other technical stuff that we feel that we know just by pre-scouting them, hopefully will give us a chance to expose them a little bit. So just kind of focus on that, and we'd like to show the guys video of those tendencies that we see from them, and then boom, how it relates to the drills we're doing today in practice and how that kind of translates. That's the why we're doing it. Here's the purpose why we do this. Here's what we're seeing. They see it. And I think they, that helps with the buy-in. That helps with the execution level when they've seen it before they have to practice it.
There's enough of your guys that have seen them, but is there any team this year, especially the non-con, that you guys have played that is comparable to their style, at least from the season?
That's a good question. They, obviously we haven't seen them in person yet, but just on video, maybe Western Michigan a little bit. I think Western Michigan's kind of that prototypical pro team, a little bit heavier, down low, not a lot of time and space. They'll get 5 guys on top of the puck in the D zone really quickly. They transition well. They're very, very good on face-offs. There's #1 face-off team in the country right now. I don't think Western Michigan is, but that's something we got to really be on our toes about. I thought Union had some good face-off plays as well, so that gave us a little bit of practice for that. So, but maybe Western Michigan, just from their pro style a little bit, their typical NHL rink, a lot of NHL draft picks. So I think that's going to be one area that will maybe give us a little bit of familiarity. But every team's a little bit different. And that's why it's so important when you play these guys the first time to make sure you learn from every weekend. And when you play them again down the road, you make sure you got their tendencies and their habits and their concepts under your belt, and your players are prepared to face them again the second time.
How about the second half of the season now? You have a couple of games in hand, over some of the rest of the league. How important is that to be able to make those adjustments and know that you've got a couple extra games to work with and hopefully earn some points from as you move forward here?
Yeah, points are hard to come by in the NCHC, so anytime we get a couple games in hand, we've got to take advantage of that. You got to find a way to execute and to win a couple of those games and help yourself climb the standings. So we definitely know we've got a couple of games in hand here, and we want to get out to a quick start here on Friday in North Dakota, hopefully, and start the ball heading in the right direction.
It's a long season in hockey. Do you worry about the stamina of the boys at the end? Because I know sometimes it seems like these guys just tucker out toward the end. Is there anything you do practice-wise that you wouldn't have done in the first half?
Yeah, I think you try to really rely on your strength and conditioning coach there too for that honest feedback on how the players are doing. And nowadays with some of the technology, we can track their fitness levels a little bit more closely than probably they could do when I played. So it's nice to rely a little bit on that information a little bit and make sure you're tapering at the right times and you're going hard at the right times. And there's still, I still think you can always go hard and recover. I think you got to be careful not to be too soft, but also to make sure you're processing that data and knowing when to back off and when to give them a break and how to manage their stamina, their fitness level, and things like that. But you know what? These guys are elite athletes. They're eating properly, they're training properly, they can handle a lot of workload. And I think sometimes, my biggest thing is mental toughness. So no matter what the physical data says, I think you got to make sure you're mentally tough and ready to go, because you can't feel sorry for yourself or the league's not forgiving to you.
Anything else, guys?
The coach, with the injuries, you don't have the last change anyway on the road. Of course, you just figure, hey, you just have to go dance with who you brought to the event.
Yep.
Pretty much just roll those players out there, not worry about the big matchups against these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing with our team, I think, is that we're still trying to determine who's our best shutdown line from a defensive standpoint. So we'll all work on it this week, and like you said, that does play into it, especially with a bit of a depleted lineup that you're not going to get the matching if they want a line match over there that you're going to want. So I think it's important this week to build our confidence and earn the confidence in how you practice this week to know you can handle anybody you play against out there. And their last game, they did shift to a couple top heavy lines where they're trying to put most of their scoring in one spot. So it's definitely nice to be able to know our guys are preparing to handle anybody they face out there, and they are capable of doing it.
Ready in the next couple of days?
Well, I mean, I have played D before. I did in midgets and bantams a little bit when we had guys hurt, the same kind of thing. Coach just kind of picked me and said, hey, go learn how to play defense. And Gabs had known that and just kind of told me in between periods, be ready because you don't know what could happen. We got a couple guys banged up. And, I mean, I've done it before, so it doesn't really faze me. And I'm pretty comfortable back there. It's just getting a good gap and remembering to skate backwards and not forwards, because that's all I've done the last 3 years. But no, he just told me this week, just kind of didn't really say much, just threw me back there and just practice as if I could do either, and we'll see what happens.
Joel, can you kind of tell us what it's been like for you guys back there to first finish shorthanded the other night and know what you have going into this week? It's probably something you haven't dealt with, at least at this extent.
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, it's pretty cool from Alfie, scoring a goal and then coming back on the backhand and helping us out. So I think it kind of shows the character we have on this team, and guys are willing to do whatever it takes. So, and it's going to be the same thing this weekend too. We got a tough opponent here and a little banged up on the back end. So, we're just going to try to do what we do best and keep it simple and just try to give the puck to our forwards. It's going to be hard, but we believe in what we can do, so we'll be fine.
How's it kind of adjust your preparation, not only this week but going forward with some guys that are going to be out of practice, especially defensively? I mean, systematically change your routine? Is it what you guys have gotten used to?
Not really. Coach is really pretty adamant about everyone kind of knowing everything in our possessions. We play kind of like 5-man units. So obviously it's going to be a little different for, let's say, Alfie, if he plays back there. It'll be different for him, but I think our routes and where he's going to know where guys are and where he has to be just because we're taught that. So it's going to be an adjustment for sure, but I don't think it's going to be something that's really going to throw us off too much, no.
From last week, just what was the feeling coming out of that series, considering the way you went into the break? And I guess how did maybe that kind of reset things for you going forward to be able to start the second half off with a nice sweep like that over a team that's ranked?
Yeah, it's obviously, you felt really good. I think we were just really happy the way we played. Obviously, we got the results we wanted, but we also played very, very well in the way that we want to play moving forward. So I think that's the biggest positive for us, because I think that's what you're going to see in the future here, is that's the way we're going to play. So obviously, coming off the break and getting 2 wins like that is massive. It's great for momentum, especially going into this weekend. But I think the biggest things for us is just kind of rewarding ourselves with all the hard work and the video we watch and the things that we want to do, we're actually doing them. So I think for us, the players, the coaching staff, and it's just really rewarding. And it was fun. Like after the games, everyone was just saying how fun it was. And when we play like that, it's awesome. It's just a great feeling.
Yeah, and I'd say we went home and we weren't happy with how we ended that break. We weren't happy with how we finished that last series, and guys took that to heart and went home and recharged and came back ready to go. We're ready to have a good second half and change the way it was going.
Joel, I know the mindset, especially for someone who's been around a long time, is typically the same no matter who you're playing. But when you're going to the Ralph and you're going to play a team like North Dakota that's obviously, very decorated. I mean, does it amp things up in preparation, or is that kind of the challenge of just trying to keep things even keeled?
Yeah, it's tough. I think everyone obviously feels more ramped up, but at the same time, you kind of want to have that even keel. You don't want to get too hyped. I think you might have seen that in the first half where we maybe get our emotions are too much like a roller coaster. But, it's back to NCHC play, and our conference is so hard, and we got to start making up ground here. So there's just so much into this weekend, and like you said, playing at the Ralph, it's a great place. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of family there and fans. It's just fun, and, we enjoy it, and it's just going to be a great weekend.
Last one maybe about this is being the rivalry, just because the conference designated you as that, and then in the past, Coach Blaze had the tie there. Is it different now that he's not around? Does it make it easier to treat it more like a normal conference weekend than North Dakota week? Because Coach Blaze isn't around and everyone's not talking about him and the ties to that program.
I don't know. I still don't we don't really like him. So, so not really if Blaze is here or not. So, like you said, it's a rivalry. I don't think it really matters who's coaching. They had Hackstall before, and now they got Barry. So, there's been coaching changes, and it's still the same rivalry. And I think it will be, for as long as, whatever. But no, I don't think there's much different just because Coach Blaze is gone. I think it's going to be a great weekend. It's just fun. It's going to be physical and fast and lots of skill. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's really changed anything. It's still a rivalry. It still means points. Still conference play.
Just because of the schedule, you guys were the 1 of the 2 teams in the first half that had 2 less games than everybody else. Does that, I guess, give you a little more confidence because you can kind of watch what's happening in front of you? And although it wasn't ideal because you were behind from the beginning because everybody started before you did, but at least you can kind of see where you need to go and can kind of watch the points race play out throughout the season, knowing that you might have the last crack to get some points.
Honestly, I didn't even know that we had 2 less games in the first half. I don't really pay attention to what everyone else is doing. I just know that what we got to do and how we're going to get there. And I don't like to bank on other teams or what they could do to help us or hurt us. I think we should control our own fate and be the ones to take those strides forward.
Yeah, it's exactly like Alfie said. We're just kind of worried about ourselves and the way we're playing. We believe that if we play the right way, that it's going to reward us. So, like Alfie said, we're not too worried about other teams. We just got to go out there and have good weekends.
That's probably maybe a little more difficult question to answer with the injuries and the illness and stuff. But as far as the depth that showed against Union too, just with all the even the third and fourth lines and stuff like that, do you guys feel like that continues to develop, and that's something that's going to be kind of key here in the second half?
Yeah, of course. Whenever you can get all 4 lines going and all 60 going, I think it's a positive. You can kind of rely on those guys, and like you said, whenever you got injuries, and you need guys to step up. And we had that against Union on Saturday night, big time. With Riley and Nogi chipping in, scoring goals, and just guys like that, character guys. It's huge for us, and it gets the guys fired up too. It's nice to see, and we love it when those guys can contribute, and that's what we're going to need moving forward.
And I think moving forward, you look at all the teams that have gone very far, they've all been deep teams. They've used everybody. You can't, in this league, and college hockey nowadays is too good to win with 5 or 6 good players. You need everybody.
How important was it after the way the first half went on the back end, goals allowed and all that, to come out and play, as well as you guys did as a group for 2 straight games to kind of set the tone moving forward?
Oh yeah, it's just nice to see. We work so hard every week, and we watch so much video, and the coaches are putting so much time, and to finally get a complete weekend, it's just great to see. And yeah, it's obviously a huge positive moving forward in the second half, and we're just looking to continue that.
It's a process. You take small steps forward, and you just keep trying to get better each time and learn something each time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a marathon.
Last season, home ice wasn't that big of an advantage, especially the second half of the season. And with you guys all NCHC play the rest of the way, how important is it to do well at home? Not so much, and obviously on the road too, but take advantage of that home ice.
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, we got to start making up a little bit of ground, and we got to use home ice to do that. and I think we're doing quite a bit better job than last year at home ice. And we got to use this crowd in our building, and just feeling at home. We got to use that as much as we can, and we've made a big emphasis on that. Every time we come out on the backstretch, we kind of just look around and appreciate what we have here and how great things are. So we're really trying to make sure that we're playing well at home.
Yeah, it's our home. We want to take pride in it and make sure teams know coming in here it's not easy. It's a tough place to play.
Joel, any advice for a player like Marty Sundberg going through this almost veritable playoff atmosphere now, this grind in the second half? Just any advice for a young player like that going through it in this particular league, even ahead of the playoffs? I mean, just the fact that this second half is such a grind in this conference.
Yeah, the way I kind of try to look at it is, when you're younger and stuff, you always kind of think of big moments and things that you want to be a part of when you're older. And guys tend to be nervous, especially young guys tend to be nervous when situations like this come. So for me, it's just like, this is what you think about, this is what you want to do as a kid. So you might as well just enjoy it, go have fun. And, that's what we're going to talk to Sonny about, and, Lawson and those guys, they're here, they're playing Division I hockey, something that they probably dreamed about. So, take the opportunity and just run with it. So it's so fun. We play in the best conference. We've got a beautiful home. So it's, that's what we're going to tell them, and they're going to do great.